Well done, Daxi Ward. Congratulations on being the first one to complete that module. Maybe you're better than I thought. Or maybe you're just lucky.
Or maybe you're a freak.
Excuse me?
I said thanks.
MacRunner Dark Pulse is a new game developed by 3AM Games, a studio of Frogwares who are most famously known for their Sherlock Holmes games, and it is published by Focus Home Interactive. MacRunner is a first-person puzzle game with a focus on manipulating magnetic properties. Keen viewers are likely quick to draw parallels with the famous Portal franchise, and although there are certainly similarities, MacRunner Dark Pulse quickly becomes its own creature. But does it do so in a capable fashion? MacRunner takes place in the near future of 2050. The character you control is called Dax, and you are one of 7 lucky participants to compete in the MacTex Corporation's Deep Space Exploration Training Program. Initially, you are met by a number of corporate and media personalities, granting you a vibe of opportunity and making it feel as if you are competing for fame. Dax is an orphan and has spent most of his life in the care of Gamaji, a mutant and father figure for Dax. Throughout the game you'll have conversations with a small group of characters through the means of holographic projections on your MacTech glove, your main tool for the puzzling jobs. Sadly, the characters aren't at all fleshed out, and your interaction with them and the futuristic world you supposedly find yourself in are very minimal, and you never get to find out much in that regard. Once you step into the first challenge room, you'll be met with a suspiciously clean but beautiful environment. The aesthetics of the game look sleek with vibrant colors, creating for an appealing graphical style that is nice to behold and makes it easy to see what you are doing. As you progress through the facility, it quickly becomes apparent there is more going on than meets the eye, and this is where the atmosphere takes a very different turn, causing for a clash between the highly futuristic and clean environments with nothing less than the Cthulhu mythos imagined by the fantasy author H.P. Lovecraft. The atmosphere in MacRunner is done excellently, as you slowly descend deeper and deeper into what seems like utter madness, with what started out as a mere puzzle game gaining hints of horror vibes. In the final stages of the game, you'll be wandering around Cthulhu-inspired space levels, still having to rely on your trusty MacTech glove. Again, graphically, MacRunner is highly appealing, with a beautiful aesthetic, and the only downside being that rocky and destroyed terrains have rather bad texture work. And the animations of the few enemy creatures look rather silly, but these are few and far between, relying more on the good sound assets. Now, the puzzle mechanics themselves revolve around magnets. How do they work? Well, bafflingly enough, the same color will attract. Your MacTech glove allows you to paint specific objects with one of 2 colors, either red and green or red and blue depending on your preference. And this then allows you to complete quite a varied set of different puzzles that can provide quite the challenge. Momentum, stacking magnetic fields, and placing those magnetic fields on the right locations are all incredibly important. Easier challenges revolve around nothing but placing one box on top of another, then infusing one with a red and one with a green magnetic field, resulting in the top box being repulsed and crashing through a panel that then unlocks you your next area. But as you continue further and further, you'll be launching yourself across rooms, trying to balance platforms on spherical orbits, and you even gain access to your trusty robot dog. Yes, a robot dog. This then allows you to place your own magnetic fields wherever you please, allowing you to drag boxes across walls or keep platforms lifted that would otherwise fall down. The puzzling mechanics work excellently, and there is a surprising amount of different challenges to conquer, while still managing to make it easy to get into, as MacRunner slowly piles more and more mechanics on top of you. Puzzles themselves are laid out in various different rooms, again ranging from the clean training facilities to underground tunnels and even space, and the one big bother I had with the way this worked was the endless amount of loading screens, and more loading screens, and even elevator sections followed by loading screens. It is not at all seamless, and the way it is set up does get you out of the game, and sadly does feel like it breaks the pacing of the game, which is otherwise excellent in becoming gradually more challenging. Depending on how quickly you get the puzzles, MacRunner will likely last you around 10 hours, with a total of 40 levels. Sadly, there is nothing in the sense of co-op or otherwise any incentive to go back and play the levels, which does make MacRunner end up with little in terms of replay value. MacRunner Dark Pulse is a nicely polished game that features a blend of a futuristic setting and Cthulhu mythos. The atmosphere in MacRunner is excellent and makes it enjoyable to play through the story setting, which otherwise is not incredibly flashed out, and sadly you get to see very little of this actual futuristic world. Graphically, MacRunner has a great looking aesthetic and is beautiful and creepy in places. The meat of the game, the puzzle mechanics, are excellent and start out easy while gradually becoming far more challenging. The nature of the puzzles does mean that once you get them, they are not that interesting to do a second time, but MacRunner does have a decent length. Regardless, there is no replay value to be found here. In short, MacRunner Dark Pulse has great puzzle mechanics with a good atmosphere. MacRunner gets a 7 out of 10. A good example of a first-person puzzling game that fans of the genre will enjoy picking up. My name's been Haas, and I'll see you guys on the next review.